What is up, YouTube? I'm back again with another video. This time I'm going to be talking about how to build your physical collection by reading digital. In order for this tip to work, you do kind of have to be able to have a source to read digitally. You can either use what I use a Shonen Manga app or Viz Manga. I've been using that to help build my collection back here, but you can also use your other resources as well. Try to find a manga site online. Now, over the course of my manga journey, I have been reading digitally for a long while before I started collecting physically. But by me reading digitally, it helped me understand what manga I like, what manga I don't like, instead of just going out physically or even ordering online off of Amazon or whatever website you use to get your manga, and then come to find out you read it and then it's not really up to you. I mean, as far as that goes, it's not a bad thing, but one thing that can really help expand your collection is knowing what you like and what you want to read. Now, there's many different ways of going about this, but I'm gonna first start off with why read digitally. So let's say you're a person that goes out physically to just grab some manga. You only read reviews on them. You don't really read like the first chapter or anything. You just see if people likes it, if it's something good to pick up, if it's something bad to pick up. Let's say you're like one of those persons. Let's say you did listen to like the people online to giving the reviews of that manga. For instance, let's just say a random manga like Black Clover. Say like you never heard of Black Clover, you never seen the anime, you want to read the manga, but you read reviews online. You go out, get Black Clover, you get the first couple volumes, and then come to find out Black Clover is just not for you for some odd reason. To help prevent that, reading digitally will help you realize what manga you're really into and see if it's something that you would want to invest to in a later time. But let's talk about the opposite side of the coin, which is digital. Let's say like you're not a big person into just collecting physical manga like these on my shelves, but you like reading manga. You want to just continue just reading online, not collect anything. So rather you're a physical collector or a digital reader, it doesn't matter which side of the coin you're on, the best option, so that way you can grow your collection and expand your manga knowledge, is to at least try to do both of them and cooperate them together to help build your collection even more than what it is now. So for example, like with these two series right here, Chainsaw Man and Sakamoto Days. Sakamoto Days I have read since the very first chapter dropped on Viz Manga, back when it was Viz Manga, and I have been reading it ever since. And when they got the physical release of it, I reread it in the physical form, and it feels so much more different. And then the same thing with Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man was like the first manga I ever collected. It was the first manga besides My Hero Academia that I actually wanted to go out and collect, because I love the series so much that I had to have it in physical form. With these two mangas, it inspired me to go out and start collecting physically, because I realized collecting physically has like a different feel than just reading it digitally, if you understand what I mean. But don't like the fact that if you read digitally, you're gonna have to collect the manga that you collect. You're gonna have to collect that manga series physically. Sometimes that necessarily doesn't have to be the case. What I mean by that is like 70% of my manga collection I have read digitally, but there's a few that I have went out and blind picked just because I wanted to try something new physically. So for example, the stuff that I went out physically and blind picked on would be Rooster Fighter and then Final Fantasy Lost Stranger. Now I only got one volume of Final Fantasy Lost Stranger. The first volume really made me want to go out and grab more. It's like one of the mangas that I want to keep reading physically until I get caught up, and then maybe I'll read digitally. That's one way you can go about it. Like if you start a series, just try to read it physically so that way you can anticipate and want to get more and then help build your collection. That's one way of helping your collection build, by just going out blind picking. But the other series that I blind picked on was Rooster Fighter. And right now Rooster Fighter is like the peak of a blind pick that I can ever choose. Yeah, because Rooster Fighter is like one of the series that I collectively sit and wait to collect. Right now there's like 5 volumes, the 6th volume is coming out soon at the time of this video. But right now Rooster Fighter is like my favorite blind pick, and I am obsessed with it. If you are looking for a blind pick, I highly recommend Rooster Fighter. Your whole collection does not have to be everything that is digital. Make your collection the way you want to. Now, some good apps that I've personally have been using for like over 5 years now to read manga would be the Viz Manga app and also the counterpart Shonen Manga app. They both charge, well, it's only one price, which is like $3 a month, which is not bad considering the amount of manga that you can read on the website. I would recommend those. I just recently tried out K-Manga, but that site seems a little iffy to me. The one manga that I read on there was Gachita Kuta. I got to read the first 25 chapters of it for free, but then afterwards I had to do a point system where I had to pay for each chapter afterwards, which in my opinion doesn't really make sense. There might be a monthly subscription, I'm not too sure. I'm just recently knew about it, but if anybody comment sections below can talk about K-Manga, see if there's any cheaper ways of reading manga. Right now, I would recommend it, but I don't at the same time because of that price point. You don't even have to necessarily read manga digitally. You could also say watch the anime if an anime has come out for a series. You can watch the anime wherever it left off on. Just try to read it physically or digitally and continue on the journey of reading ahead. I know some people who are anime onlys might not like that, but if you really love the story, you want to see where it goes, just go ahead and pick up the manga. I swear it's not cheating. You're just reading it on the respective platform that it came from. And, or the other option, you could ask a friend or family to just be like, hey, I'm trying to look for a new manga. What do you recommend? And see what they recommend you and try picking it up, see if you like it. But if your friend or family recommends you Goodnight Pun Pun or Takopi's Original Sin, then they're just trolling. They just want to see you have depression. Those tips are what I use to help build my collection. I'm basically talking out of my experience, but I want my experience to help you guys out there to help build that collection that you're looking forward to have that big library of manga to just go into, read, and then sit back, relax, enjoy a nice cup of tea, and just indulge in your favorite series. To help you guys out who is thinking that I don't really want to read digitally, I just want to find out what manga is good, what manga is not. I'll help you guys out by giving you guys a few recommendations on what manga you should pick up physically. Now, the manga I'm going to be recommending for you guys physically to collect would be Alice in Borderland. I talked about this book before, with this manga before, and it is such a great series, and I'm highly recommending it now because it officially ended with the 9th volume. So it's a nice collection to have all 9 of these thick boys right here into your collection and read a crazy wild ride with Alice in Borderland. The next manga I'm going to suggest is Marriage Toxin. So Marriage Toxin is relatively new. It's only 1 volume out right now, but the first volume can help you start collecting for the later volumes that come out. It's basically about a boy who is from an assassin family who specializes in poison, but he has a problem talking to girls. And his grandma is very strict, so his grandma is telling him that if he doesn't find a wife, his sister's gonna have to be married in order to keep the bloodline going. So it is an interesting read, and the first volume really solidified the fact that I'm gonna keep collecting this, so I highly recommend Marriage Toxin. And then this last physical volume that I've got really surprised me because I was looking forward to it, and it did not disappoint me at all, and that is Hirayasumi. Hirayasumi is literally about a boy who is 28 years old, just living life, relaxing, chilling to the best of his capabilities, not looking to talk to any women at all. He goes every Tuesday to see this one grandma who cooks him dinner, and that's like the only real bonding connection he has. But the grandma passes away, and now he is left with her estate because she had no other family members other than him, even though they wasn't technically related. And now he's living there with his 18-year-old cousin, just going to college at Tokyo University. And now it is just basically a slice of life that is done so well. So I highly recommend you picking up Hirayasumi. Now for some digital recommendations. I highly, and I mean highly recommend, if you're not reading it already, Kagurabachi. Now, Kagurabachi is a very great, compelling story and great actions panels, nice fighting, good power scaling, and it is very well written so far for a new gen genre. The fact that it was so hyped up when the first chapter, only the first chapter released, and the fact that no one's really talked about it right now is kind of concerning, even though it's still that same hype as it was when it was the first chapter. I highly recommend Kagurabachi as a digital read. And another digital read that I highly recommend is Wild Strawberry. Now, Wild Strawberry is a very good alternative to like Tokyo Ghoul, I would have to say. The world is gruesome. The plant-based enemies are something to be feared of. The main character, he starts off a little iffy, but later on, like, he gets his determination, and then he is like becoming one of the best characters inside the show, well, inside the series, I should say. Right now, Wild Strawberry is a constant read. It has 24 chapters out right now, but I would have to say the releasing of it is very inconsistent. Sometimes it's 2 weeks, sometimes it's weekly, sometimes it takes a month. With that, I'm not sure when the physical release will be out, but I do highly recommend that if it does release, that will be an instant pickup for you guys. All right, and then the last one that I'm going to be talking about digitally to read is going to be Astro Baby. Now, Astro Baby seems like a Tokyo Ghoul type of thing. Actually, it would have to be more of a parasite type of feeling, because they come down from Earth, they take over human bodies, and then they just devour humans. But one meteorite came down, took over a body of a pregnant woman, and then the baby, fully conscious being that doesn't want to eat humans, but in fact want to get rid of all the alien species. With that story alone, there's only 11 chapters, and it already compelled me enough to want to keep reading. And there's only 11 chapters out right now, but it is a weekly manga release on the Shonen Jump app. So, and all of these are also on the Shonen Jump app, by the way, so you guys can pick that up, read it, and if you want to do subscription, I would highly recommend doing a subscription. $3 a month is not bad considering to all the collection and genres that they have in there. I do highly recommend those three. I highly recommend Kagurabachi, Wild Strawberry, and Astro Baby. So if you're looking for something digital to read, go ahead and pick those up. All right, you guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Thank you all for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe down below. What's your favorite part? And comment down below what digital manga that you've read that you collected physically, or vice versa. Either or. I hope you all have a blessed day. Thank you all for tuning in. And until next time, peace.